Are you an asylee or refugee in the United States who is sick of shelling out $410 for a work permit every year or two? Would you like to obtain permanent residence or a green card or citizenship? Maybe you want to travel abroad or bring some family members here. If that's you, then please join us for Immigos Community Immigration Empowerment Series, Asylee Life Hacks. My name's Alex Wiker. I'm the owner and principal attorney at Immigos. Before I begin, I just want to say that this video is for asylees and refugees only. If you have a pending application for asylum, the content that we're going to talk about does not pertain to you, only if you've already been granted asylee or refugee status. So first of all, working in the United States, you don't need a work permit to work in the United States. I don't know how many asylees and refugees I've talked to who are sick of paying for a new work permit. You don't need it. For your I-9, for your documentation for work, you can give a copy of your passport and your I-94 that shows your asylum or refugee grant. Or, if you've already been here for a little while, you can give your driver's license and your social security card instead. Now, if you absolutely, need to have that work permit in your wallet, maybe it makes you feel a little better just to have it, you can get one. You filed Form I-765 with USCIS. Just a tip, your first application for a work permit as an asylee or refugee has no filing fee, okay? So even if you had a pending application for asylum for several years and you were renewing your work permit on that basis, after you become an asylee, you do not need to pay a filing fee for that initial application. Okay? Renewals would require a filing fee, which is currently $410. But again, you do not need a work card. Traveling, okay? So a lot of asylees and refugees don't know how they're going to travel. A lot of people have the problem that their passport is expired, and because they're an asylee or refugee, they cannot get a new passport. So the solution for that is to get what is called a refugee travel document. This document is valid for 1 year. It functions like a passport, and you get it by filing Form I-131 with USCIS. The fee is different depending on your age and what you need it for. And really important, you need to file this while you're still in the United States before you travel. Okay, probably at least 60 days before you go. That's what USCIS says. It gives time for processing and for your biometrics. There are some exceptions. If you didn't follow this rule, give me a call, give another immigration attorney a call, see if there's a way to fix this situation. You can use this refugee travel document to go virtually anywhere in the world. The one exception, I would not recommend going back to the country that you fear persecution from, usually your country of origin. Okay, going back there can cause a lot of problems for your immigration status. There are some exceptions. Again, if you really need to go back there, I would recommend talking to an immigration attorney first. Another thing that many asylees and refugees don't know is that you can petition for certain immediate relatives to also get asylum or refugee status. The qualifying relatives would be a spouse or unmarried, under 21 children when you first applied for asylum or refugee status. So the dates are important here, okay? For your spouse, you just need to be married before you were granted asylum. So if you filed your asylum application, 10 years ago, and then you got married the day before you got that asylum grant, that spouse can derive asylee status from you. With children, they just need to be unmarried and under 21 when you first applied for asylum. So if they're over 21 now, then they can still derive this benefit. And the definition of child would include stepchildren. So if you get married, they have kids, they might be able to be included. Even children that were conceived but not yet born before you're granted asylum could derive this benefit. So these family members can be inside or outside the United States. The process is a little bit different, whether they're in or out of the United States. One very important rule is that you have to file your petition for them within 2 years of getting your asylum or refugee grant. So what that means is, so say you get your grant, say January 1st, 2020, you've got some kids that are outside of the country when you get that grant and you would like to bring them here, or your spouse is outside the country. You can do that with this benefit. Even if the person who got asylum or refugee status has passed away, they can still file for the family members as long as the other requirements have been met, the 2 years and the family relationship. You can petition for these family members by filing Form I-730 with USCIS. Really important caveat is that if you become a United States citizen within those 2 years, you can no longer file for your family members. So you can become a permanent resident and file this, but not a United States citizen. Which brings us to becoming a permanent resident. Getting your green card. It is so easy to get your green card if you're an asylee or refugee. All you need is to be an asylee or refugee and have remained in the United States physically for 1 year. If that's the case, you're probably eligible for a green card. Okay, you also need to be admissible. So if you do have some criminal history, or if you've been deported, or some other illegal entries, health issues, or some other complexity to your case, I would recommend that you contact an immigration attorney before you file for your green card. You may need a waiver. You file that on Form I-602, and the waiver could waive your inadmissibility. Generally, the green card application is filed on Form I-485. Got a hefty filing fee. With the biometrics, generally costs about $1,225 right now. But fortunately, if you are an asylee or refugee, and you have low income or receive public benefits or have other hardship, you may qualify for a fee waiver, and that is filed on Form I-912. Lastly, U.S. citizenship. So if you've made it all the way from asylee or refugee status to your green card, you can become a United States citizen, and you get the added bonus of being able to become a United States citizen 1 year earlier than most other people. So normally you have to be a permanent resident for 5 years, or 3 years if you're married and living together with a United States citizen. For asylees and refugees, that time limit is shortened by 1 year. So either 4 years or 2 years. Technically, if you are filing under the 5-year rule, you could file after 3 years and 9 months of being a permanent resident. So if you became a permanent resident January 1st, 2020, you could then file on, sometime in September of 2023. You file for naturalization on Form N-400 with USCIS. You have to pass the civics exam and the English component. There are some ways that you can get out of that. If you need any help with that, give us a call, give an immigration attorney a call. The process is not too difficult. Otherwise, thank you very much. I hope that these asylee life hacks have been helpful to you. And if you have additional questions, you can reach out to us or me, Alex at Immigos.com, or you can call us or text us 386-888-0882. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck to you.